Okay, so um, let me go and look at one of my running Flink servers. Okay, so let's go and look at this one. And now that I'm SSHing into this one, let me see what's running here. Okay, so we have Java and then the log file. Okay, so what I want to do here is I want to copy this over. Okay, so from here, and let me copy that into Vim here. And what I want to do is I basically want to replace. Okay, so let's see. Let's start splitting this up. Okay, so this one. Where else? Okay, so then we have the class path. What else? What else? We have a configuration dir, and we have an execution mode, cluster, and this one we don't actually want. Now let's compare that to the start of this script here. So we have Mesos master here, and then we have the job manager and port, and we have the web port, we have the tasks, we have the heap. And then okay. All right, so what I'm missing and what I want to compare here. So this is let's remove this. So this is the Flink standalone mode, start command. And then this one is the marathon start command. And when you execute this one, yeah, I can explain what I'm doing, Ben. Let me actually show what I'm doing. And I have a blog post up with what I'm doing. So let me show that to you, link it. Okay. Yep, so this one. So essentially what I'm doing is I have a cluster of Flink machines um, that are connecting to Kafka stream processing. And what I want to do is my Flink is in standalone mode, and it carries a lot of disadvantages when you run it in standalone mode. So what I want to do is I want to run everything on top of Mesos, which is a cluster manager, and I already have Mesos running and Marathon running on top of Mesos. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get Flink to work on top of that and have task managers and job managers run on top of the Mesos slaves instead of having it as a standalone mode. And I also want to run it in high availability. So yeah, that's what I'm doing today. And I'm you know battling a lot of problems because this needs to be production ready and fully scalable and stuff. Um, so it has a lot of challenges. Okay, so here what I'm basically doing is I'm outputting from the command is I'm outputting what the end Java command is, and this is the end Java command. So this is what I want to do here. So I want to compare why this command starts the task manager, but this one doesn't. Okay, so first things first, let's go and split this up as well. Okay. So this is where it gets different from the other one. So the job manager port, and then the resource is how many tasks we have, and then we have the heap in megabytes and parallel processes. So this is all fine. Okay, so let's look at configuration file, for example. So this is log4j.properties. Okay, so this is fine. And log file. Okay, so actually we have a log file here. So I can go and I can try and look at that file to see why it's not running. Okay, so Flink bin dir environment variable must be set. Okay, Flink bin dir environment must be set. Okay, so let's go ahead and set this environment. Okay, so this one, and then Flink bin dir. Okay, so now I can export this and exit here. Oops. Okay, no, come on. Okay, can't type today. Okay, so now let me edit this file again here. And instead of just echoing the command, I want to execute it as well. Okay. And then let's do this. And let's export all the environment variables that I need. All right. And then run the command from here. Okay, so that's not what I wanted. Okay, so, okay, this one. Okay, so still not working. So let's look at the log file. Okay. Okay. And internal log. Okay, so exception mesos.master must be configured. Now, Mesos master is configured. So let's see why it thinks that it's not configured. So mesos.master. So mesos.master zookeeper. Yeah, so mesos.master is actually working. Let me see here. Okay, so yeah, so the mesos.master is actually working. Well, it's not working, but it's being passed. So let's see Flink Mesos. So let's see in the documentation if I'm missing something. Okay, so in order to run mesos.app master script, you have to define in Flink YAML or pass it via the mesos.master in the Java process. Yeah, and that's what I'm doing. So mesos.master is Mesos master URL, and the value is one of the following. So either host and port, or ZK, and then host port, and then a path. And this is what I have configured here. So Mesos master is zookeeper, host and port, and then a path. So 212, 70, and then 248. Yeah, I have all the Mesos configured here. So this should work just fine. But for some reason, it's not accepting this parameter. So first of all, let's see why. Mesos master, and then this is zookeeper here, and then Mesos. Okay. So let's think here for a minute. So I can try and hack this through for now. Just to get beyond this phase. Let's open this again. So illegal configuration, mesos.master, Mesos job manager initialization failed. A dupe set to root. Okay. So here, loading configuration, parallelism default, RPC 61, heap 512. Mesos.master. So Mesos master is configured here. Program arguments. Initialization failed. Mesos.master must be configured. So Mesos.master is definitely configured. And you can see that here. So Mesos.master. Maybe let's try to wrap this. No. Okay, so let's do something different here. I want to copy this and want to copy this into the configuration. Why am I not able to type today? Okay. And now let's run the app master again. So let's run this. This one. Okay, so not yet. Yeah, Mesos master must be configured again. So so remove this. Yeah, Mesos master must be configured. So error will try to split key and value in configuration file. Okay, so let's go to the configuration here. Okay, got it. So this is not equals. This should be this. And then let's, just for good measure, wrap this in this. Okay. And let's try to run the master again. Okay. Okay, failed to create master detector for zookeeper. Okay, got it. So I don't need to wrap this in quotes. So let's try now. All right. So we have a framework registered, and let's see what happens now. So for some reason, Mesos master from the Java argument didn't get accepted. And now let's go to one of our Mesos masters. And I think I put it for, port 5000. And we should be able to see an agent or anything running. But since this is running as a standalone mode, then it wouldn't. But what will happen now is I can try and run this through Marathon. So let's go ahead and here, let's restart the application to 1. And it's only going to be able to work on one of our instances. So let's see here. So A6 83. And yeah, this is Mesos node. Yeah, this is not the one. We want A2. And it still failed. Okay, so we have Marathon, and then we have an inactive framework. So Mesos. Okay, so let's see here. So we have it running. So it's running and then destroying, running and then destroying, running and then destroying, which is definitely not what we want. So let's see if we have any. Yeah, it's not. It's essentially failing every single time. So let's tail -f var log Mesos and then Mesos slave dot info. Oh, I know. Okay. So I actually know what's going on. So now let's go ahead and edit this application. And here in environment variables, we're missing something. So this is actually -conf here. And then we need a bin dir. All right. So let's go ahead and configure here. So here, oh man, this escape thing is really annoying. Okay, so environment variable, let's do here. So this is paste here, and then this is bin, and this is bin, and this is actually this, and then conf. And we can try that now. So this is gonna wait, and then it's gonna try and deploy, and let's see if it's gonna run. So yeah, it is running, which is pretty amazing. Okay, so I know what I need to do now. So because I know what I need to do, I can start and I can do some puppeting. Because I basically know what I want to do with our stuff. So let's go ahead and here. Okay, so let's use some Marathon API, and I hope I remember. So let's go, and I think it's API, and then v2 apps. No. So let's do API. So Marathon API. Okay, so Marathon, then REST API. Yeah, that's what I want. So get v2 apps. Okay, so let's do, I remembered v2 apps. Okay, so v2 apps, and then you see the app as a job manager, and then v2 apps and app ID, and our app ID is Flink manager, so we can go here and do Flink manager. No, what? Oh, job manager. Okay, so Flink, and here is job manager, and we have an ID, Mesos, Zookeeper, and if we go and paste that in here, and let's tidy this up a bit. Okay, so we can see that it's running, and it's running on 214. So if we go to 214 8081, we should be able to see our job manager running. And we do. Okay, so this is awesome. We have a Flink job manager running on top of Mesos, which is really pretty incredible. And what I want to do, well, you know what, even before I go and do that, let's do this. Okay, so these are the environment variables that we must configure. So let's put a note on that. So Flink environment variables, I made a note of that. And then So we can get rid of that. We can get rid of that. So we know everything is working once that. But we also need. So these are. Let's kill this file. Flink notes Mesos. So one more thing we need is to configure mesos.master YAML file, and then also so -d is not being passed correctly into the process. All right, so we can save that. So let's exit this file and open up Vim here. So now I don't need this Flink node open. And what I want to do is I want to scrap this. Oh, you know what? Let's try to run. I want to try and run a task manager. So let's see here. So we have an app master, and then what else? We have a Mesos task manager. The entry point for a Mesos worker process. You don't need to explicitly execute this script. It's automatically launched by the Mesos worker node to bring up a new task manager. In order to run, so let's see here. So here I have the task manager. So let's see here. Okay, so one of my configuration options is how many task managers I'm instantiating. So let's see here is Mesos initial tasks here, which I omitted from the configuration here. So let's go to Marathon here. And I want to try and start some tasks. So let's go ahead and try and run some tasks by providing this. So we have web port, we have RPC port, and then we have number of task slots. So let's pass this in as well. Okay. So in the meantime, you know, people in the chat room, if you've been watching any of my streams, you already know. And if you haven't, then, you know, this is my time to mention this. Really feel free to ask any question you want during the stream. Even if you feel, you know, the subject is a bit over your head, or, you know, you want a more explanation about what I'm doing and why, please, you know, don't feel uncomfortable. Ask any question you want. I'll always do my best to answer them. So let's now. So Marathon is now deploying our new application, and the application is running. So now in our job manager, and this is interesting because it's supposed to start task managers, but the question is whether it needs to start the task manager only when we submit, or should it run the task manager every single time? And this is the interesting part here, whether it's going to manage the resources as we need them. Okay, so available task slots, we have 0. So let's see here. So Mesos Task Manager, the entry point for the Mesos worker process. You don't need to explicitly execute the script. It is automatically launched by the Mesos worker node to bring up a new task manager. In order for Mesos Abstract Script, you have to define Mesos master. Okay, that's fine. And then Mesos initial task. This value will also be defined. So Mesos initial tasks to 10. And I have that. So let's look at the configuration again. So Mesos initial task is 10. Parallelism is 10. And number of task slot is 2. So what I'm afraid this is not getting any of the configuration from here. So, and this is what I'm afraid is happening. So let's go here and do something. So CMD. All right, and then here. Okay, so let me close this up here and let me record a macro. Okay. Okay, here. So that one as well. All right. Okay. So let's see here what else. Okay, so whoops. Okay. So let me edit this command here. Okay. Mesos app master. And then this should be here, should be dash. So let me try and do this as the command without all the spaces. Maybe it's just missing those because of formatting from Mesos. Okay, so let me restart the app. And let's see if something changed here. So I'm seeing it's actually not working now. And why is that? So configuration. So job manager port is 8081. Okay. But I see that it is running. So now it actually might be running on the other machine. Where is it running? No, it's running on A2. Let's see which one is A2. Okay, so for that, we can actually use our API again. So we can go to /v2 apps and then Flink job manager. And let's see where it is. So 10 dot. So 212. Is this one? And then, yeah, the IP address is 225. Yep, it's running on the other server. So 225. 8081. Okay, so let's see if that's working. So it's trying to accept the connection, and it's not really succeeding. So now it's running two of these. One on A2 and one on 83. Okay. Okay, so let's see here. So this is 212. All right. So it's here, and then the IP address of this is 225, and then the IP address of this is 214. Okay, so it's running here, but for 225, oh, it's actually might not be 10.1. That's the problem. Yeah, okay, so that was the problem. So 80, 81. Okay, yeah, so it's running. So now the thing is that I want to start a task manager, but I'm wondering why it's not starting task managers on its own. Before I go and I start to configure this using, using Puppet, and I go do everything I did manually in configuration management. What I want to do is I want to start. I want to try and submit a job and have it run. So let me open up. I have notes about how to run this. Whenever notes decide to open. Okay, so we have a Flink job submission here. Okay. So Zookeeper. Yeah, I have a job configuration here. So let me try and upload one. I want to see how I want to start a task manager. So number of slots, parallelism is 10. So now it actually accepted all of the parameters, so that's good. So job manager port is 6123, web manager is 8081. Okay. So let me go and try and upload one here. Question is, where do I have one of these tasks? So I'm looking it up. Okay, I have it here, I think. Yeah, but I don't want to build it. So let's look whether I have one built. No, I don't have one built. That's a bummer. Okay, so I'm gonna be kind of limited with testing this one. Maybe we can find a sample job. Let's see if we can do that. Flink contains data generator for k-means. The generator has the following argument. K-means generator, number of data points, inspect input data, start Flink, inspect and run k-means example. Open, upload the k-means job jar file. Select in the left box to see how it operates and plan. Okay. So let's see here. Flink contains data generator for k-means. Flink Java examples, k-means, 500, and then we have centers. Okay, and then, yeah, we can input a file and then start that one. But because this is a cluster, then I have to do it in one of the servers. And I don't really like that. All right, let's see here. Flink examples batch. No, that's not what I want. Yeah, I'm gonna be pretty limited with testing this one. Okay, but for now, here's what I want to do. Okay. So let me think what I want to do first. Again, guys in the chat room, feel free to ask questions and participate. We have about 10 or 12 people watching across the platforms. So feel free to participate and ask questions and get involved. If you have suggestions or comments or feedback, please don't be shy. Okay, so what I'm thinking is, where do I get started? Because what I would prefer is to test the entire flow, including submitting submitting a job. Um, but the problem with that is that I'm limited, that I don't have the job at hand. I mean, the jar file for the job, so I can't really submit that. Um, so I would want to see the entire flow run, and I want to see that, okay, so let's remove a task manager, let's add a task manager. I want to see, okay, if I upload a job, where does the job get uploaded, and how is it managing that, for example, one of the servers in the cluster just collapses. Where does the file upload, and see that, because the problem is that what we need is we need some centric way to manage our artifactories, so that whenever we upload a jar file to one master, it distributes this message to the nodes, to the task manager. All right, let me actually, you know what, this will be easier this way. Okay, where is my marker? I used to have a marker, I promise. Oh, I used to. Just had a marker a second ago. How did I lose my marker? Oh, there it is. Okay, so let's draw this for a second here. So we have our cluster, right? And inside of our clusters, we have multiple. So this is job manager, right? So we have a cluster of job managers, right? And then this cluster of job manager distributes tasks to a cluster of task managers. Okay, so let's see if I can get this all in one frame. Okay, so we have a cluster of job managers that distribute tasks to a cluster of task managers, right? So now when I upload one task, I upload the task to a job manager. And a task is just a file, right? So a task is a file, and this task has input. So I already have the input covered. So the input is just a stream of messages coming from Kafka, for example. And then I upload the task to my job managers, and it distributes the messages to the task managers, right? Now, because this is managed in a cluster, when I upload a file, it can't really exist on just one server. It really needs to exist kind of everywhere on the system, because if it only exists on this server and this server, for example, here on the you see it, which side do you see it on? Anyway, I can't figure out if it's mirroring or not, but if it only exists here, and one of these connection breaks, or both of these connections breaks, either the server is down, or the disk is down, or the network is down, or anything here is down, what I want now is to get this picked up and this picked up, but this task, I don't want to need to upload it again to these servers. I want it to exist on these servers right away. So we either need an Artifactory server, or we need to save our files anywhere else that is not the disk, right? And it can do it. The final one can be a disk, but I also need to manage the state of this thing. And this is kind of the problem I'm facing. And the problem, I'm not really even facing a problem, but I don't know whether I'm facing a problem or not. And I read up on the documentation here, and one of the things they say they provide is an artifact server. So the artifact server is responsible for providing resources to the worker nodes. So the question is whether this documentation is lacking, but whether this is provided and out of the box, or whether I need to take care of that. Shared secrets or configuration file, for instance. Responsible for providing resources to the worker nodes. So what I'm thinking is, based on parsing the cryptic language here, is that I need to provide that. Not that I have a problem with providing that. I just need to know whether I need to provide that or not. So that's really the question here. So background, Mesos scheduler, artifact server. So yeah, I'm thinking but there is no parameter for an artifact server. So I don't know. So first, I want to scale this to 1. Just, just for good measure. And I need to test this. I need to test this to ease my mind that I can continue with the configuration management. I at least want to see something running. Okay. So let me see if I have it in an email. Okay. Let's see. Okay, where is that? So I don't see that, unfortunately. No. Okay, so I don't have that. That means that I don't really have a way to test the entire flow, unfortunately. But I can at least continue with some configuration. So let's start closing things up. So first, let's suspend the application here. Okay. Want to exit those servers. All right. So now I need to start with developing my module. So I already have a Flink module, but this is really more geared towards toward a standalone cluster, and I don't want to run a standalone cluster obviously now. I want to run a Mesos cluster. So I'm thinking whether I want to do this and inside the slave maybe run here, for example, maybe run something like a class and then so FL Mesos and then Flink and passing configuration from here. Or have it as its own separate module. And to be honest, it doesn't really matter to me now. So first what I want to do is here. Okay. So, so now let's go ahead and get started. Again, people in the chat room, feel free to ask questions and provide feedback. I would definitely love to hear from you. Okay, so for some reason it takes Vim like a while to save a file today, but okay, so now so Puppet modules, FL Mesos, and then we'll do Flink here, and then okay. And let's pass a configuration here. And for now, this configuration needs to be an empty hash. Okay. All right. So, unfortunately, I have to stop the stream for now. I'm living with my family today on vacation, so I need to go get ready. But follow up on Twitter to see when I'm streaming again. I'm definitely, I need to finish this project, and I definitely want to stream as much of it as I can. But people in the chat room, don't be shy. Give comments and feedback. I really love to hear from you. So thank you for watching, and catch you on a later stream.